I needed a palette cleanser after my last project. And while I still have these guys to finish, I figured I'd try my hand at another Terminator. These are somehow singularly enjoyable building and painting experiences. I don't know why, but I just have maximum fun with these guys, as opposed to, well, those guys. And so I picked, this is the third one in this series, and it's not random. I picked a guy that I know for sure I'm going to need, and that's the rocket guy. This dude. What's his name? Brother Ebellius. Oh, look at that beard. Oh, man. It'd almost be a shame to put a helmet on that guy. Okay, I'm going to have to think about that. So, as with the other two in the Space Marine Hero series that I've done, I'm not going to paint this guy up in Blood Angels or anything like that. He's going to be part of my Deathwatch army. Just another brother in the Deathwatch army. And so, just take a look at the stuff that he's got here. So that looks like a bolt pistol, I think. Yeah, there's the other side. That's a bolt pistol. There's the power fist. There's the body. Oh, and he's got one of these little side pauldron deals. There is the front part of the missile launching system. I think, well, there's Cyclone missiles or something like that. There's the main missile pack. There's the head. There's the other head. And I don't know, man. I usually go with the helmet, but this time I think I'm going to go with the face. I mean, he looks awesome. He kind of looks like, you guys remember Techno Viking? He kind of looks like Techno Viking. Here's the back part of the model with the rocket packs with awesome skulls on the back of it. And finally the base. Looks like a tile floor with an Imperial Aquila. That should be interesting. I'm going to try to just paint this and not add any of that crud. But maybe I will. I don't know. So, this was the contents of the box that Brother Ebellius came in from the Space Marines Heroes Series 2. Going with all the Terminators. Let's get to clipping. I need to plan out the painting process. So I have to figure out what's going to get glued and what's going to be temporary. And there's almost no flashing to remove on this guy. Or maybe that's not what is meant by flashing. Maybe this stuff is flashing. So maybe one of you people who are watching this knows what the difference is. So there's the connection point. There's a connection. There's a connection point right there. Now let's get another one. Okay, see right there? This point right here where the model was attached to the sprue. This is what I've been calling flashing. But is this right there, is that flashing? Or is that just like the seam? I don't know, these things have names. I've been referring to this as flashing and kind of ignoring this. It tends to not show up on the model very often, but sometimes it does. right there, that flashing I really can't get to. I need the jeweler file, which is a little too rough. So that's going to stay there. I don't like it, but it is what it is. It may not show up in the, once it's painted, primed and painted, but we'll see. So this part, if you're going to build this guy and paint him, just want to watch out with that little piece. It's connected right here. It's connected at that little tiny piece there at the bottom to the sprue. So make sure you don't clip it off. I was almost tempted to cut kind of right above it, but that's a part of the model, so just, keep your eyes open. All right, now he goes into his shoes, like so. Now his arms, I'm really curious to see the range of motion on these guys. It hasn't been particularly good in any of these, but I'm giving them a pass because they're so darn pretty. All right, the final decision. Helmeted head or scowling face? Man. All right, I'm going to go with the scowling face. If for no other reason than I know I can do this. This looks, reasonably fine in all my other models. If I use this guy, I have to focus on the head. I can't just and he's done. I have to really think about it. And I'm not really good at painting faces or heads. So it's time to get out of my comfort zone. Really challenge myself on this one. So I'm going to do a legit head. Of course, I haven't forgotten that if I really mess this thing up, I can always go back and get this guy. So I've limited my damage potential. And normally that's a bad thing to say in Warhammer 40k, but in this instance, limiting your damage potential is a good thing. So there he is. Brother Ebellius. He's a cool looking model. I was kind of hoping I would be able to at least twist the Cyclone Missile Launcher, and I can't. And so I'll probably do the usual where I'll cut off that peg. Cut off this peg so that I can position the arm kind of however I want. This arm, I really have very little choice in the matter, so it'll probably stay on the peg. I'll just still glue it down. And so the only modifications I'm going to make are to, and this is going to be a tight fit, man. So I have to remove this insignia from the arm so that I can put in the Deathwatch pauldron the Terminator-sized version. But because this thing is on here, it's going to be a really tight fit. I may have to consider moving this a bit. Like maybe, I don't know, will it fit on this other side? Or just removing it altogether? I don't know. But as it stands, I'm not feeling confident that I'll be able to replace that pauldron. On this side, I don't have to do any replacing. I have some insignia that I'll add to it, and that should be fine. I haven't picked out what chapter he's going to be from. I mean, since he's got these missile launchers, I'm thinking maybe Iron Hands or maybe Ultramarines. Then again, I could just go random. I have a collection of them, and I'll just maybe pick one out. We'll see. Before I get to painting Brother Ebellius, I have to go in and remove this guy. Which means that I'm always super paranoid when I bring this guy out. It's worked out fine so far, but it kind of, when I say narrow margins, I'm not very skilled at it, but it's worked out so far okay so far. Now, I've noticed that this particular model has some weird layering in the plastic. It's almost like the pauldron was added afterwards, which is precisely what I want to do, only with the pauldron I want to choose. So, yeah, that's kind of weird. And underneath that, there's another pauldron looking thing. So it looks like they have a big pauldron over a small pauldron. This is not a detail I noticed in any of the other models that I've done so far. Those look like one solid chunk. So I'm going to go ahead and cut along these lines. I'm just going to end up with a little nub of a pauldron anyway, so it doesn't matter. But I thought it was interesting. As for how I want to get in there, I think I'm going to start off with just a little cutting and then some grinding, which means I have to get the right tool for the job, which I'm going to go ahead and guess it's just this guy. So these are very brittle, just FYI. This is the second one I've broken in the 2 times I've used this. So, yeah, I'm not very good at this. Oof, what a mess. Look at that nonsense. What have I done? I'm kidding. Let me get the pauldron that's supposed to go in its place. Well, here we go. Here's the pauldron that's supposed to fit it. Let's see if it'll work. It's surprisingly, I still need some sanding, probably from here from the front. A little bit from the side. I need to be careful with that side since it's visible. Alright, that's about as good as that's going to get, so I'm just going to smooth it out a bit. I'm going to glue it down. We should have okay, well, I guess that's done. So for this kind of thing, you want to use super glue and then just keep it clamped down for a while, because there's still a bit of resistance. But after a few seconds, this should be just fine. It lives there now. It's going to be a little tough to get that to stick to the model, but I'll figure that out when I get there. Now it's time to do some painting.